welcome back. It's time for us. This is our last segment. Last time I thought it was going to be last, but this time it's the last indeed. Now, Nigeria's workforce is grappling with an escalating crisis of workplace stress and toxicity, especially in bustling urban centers like Lagos, which is the commercial center, as well as Abuja was the capital, and Port Harcourt, the oil city. Now, across sectors, employees face relentless pressure from heavy workloads, insufficient mental health support, and blurred boundaries between work and personal life. The reality is that it's grim. There's burnout, anxiety, and psychological strain, and they are now becoming stressingly common, in environments where the lines between compassion and productivity are dangerously blurred. Now, reports show that pervasive issues like poor communication, fear-driven cultures, and office politics compound these challenges, leaving workers increasingly vulnerable to mental and physical health consequences. Moreover, toxic workplaces exact a heavy toll as well, not just on morale, but on overall well-being, whether it's from office bullying and ostracizing to harassment and systemic leadership failures. Employees in Nigeria often find themselves navigating cultures that erode their self-esteem and ignite chronic stress. Empirical studies underscore how such environments correlate with symptoms of depression, anxiety, physical ailment, and diminished productivity issues that we cannot afford to overlook.
I should have jumped in to help you there. So many big words, Judith, but thank you. But
did you know I'm 5 years old?
In essence, the modern Nigerian office is under siege. Not by external threat, but by internal dysfunction, unchecked work stress, and toxic dynamics that can derail careers and also harm lives. But to help us unpack these issues and offer practical pathways forward, we're joined today by Kris Ekuafeh. She's workplace stress expert up until only recently, I think 2 years ago, last year. I didn't know there was such a thing, but then we met from before now.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I got educated. Welcome again. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Well,
It's great to be here on this
indeed.
set.
Yeah.
Looking beautiful on our set. I love that.
Trying to catch up.
I beg you, please put me on the
I would
spotlight.
like us to start by defining exactly what a dysfunctional or a toxic work environment is.
A toxic work environment is where people have no sense of safety. When something is toxic, there's no safety, especially psychological safety, where you do not feel comfortable enough sharing your pain or interacting with other people because there's always this umbrella or aura of distrust, of gossip, of malice, and conflict, where issues are not easily reconciled, especially in favor of the staff, where the organization sees the company as more important than the people. So oftentimes, what we try to say is, and we see that the dynamics are changing, a bit slow, but they're beginning to change, where the people in the workplace, the employees, are now giving more attention because we realize that the more you give the employees, the more they are able to give back to the organization. Wow. So it's a win-win, though, when you focus more on the employees than just focus on the, the showmanship of running an organization.
So I guess it's safe to say that a good workplace will be a place where you wake up in the morning and say, yay, let's go to work. While a bad workplace will be a place where you work in the morning and, oh my God, I have to go back there. That's the way I'll define it.
Well, that could also be a bad workplace, but it could also be a function of the person. Maybe the person has issues and the person hasn't been able to resolve the issues.
Not a morning person.
Maybe not a morning person, or the person has got some form of internal stress, he's dealing with or she's dealing with.
So it's not just about the employer-staff relationship or dynamic. It's also an interpersonal one as well as it is an internal one as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
All right. The propaganda that I will not fall for is that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That's a lie. Or it's a propaganda that was pushed. That's a propaganda I will not fall for. But it also, I think the HR worldwide have thought that the notion of good work is more work makes people overwhelmed, and so they have now said work-life balance.
Right.
Right? And I think they throw work-life balance as a plaster to solve those issues. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does
it's like
make sense.
It's a plaster, they solved it. Oh, she's trying, it's work-life balance. I've come to complain. This person said, they're like, it's 10 past at hyper, working towards work-life balance,
Right.
Work hours is 40 hours. It's give them 38 hours instead, a week, And so how then can we equip HR to fix it and not blur the lines and think work-life balance is the solution?
Okay. I'm glad that you brought up the issue of work-life balance, because that is also a topic of great discernment and a great discussion within the HR populace and also within the stress mastery populace as well. And it's a mindset that we are trying to shift.
Right.
But before we get in there, because, there's going to be a point where I'm going to really have to talk about that, I want to address this issue of when you have, because we're talking Monday blues, right? This is Sunday. You guys work here. So I just want to know how it is for you people so that I can answer that. Not
Judith.
Sunday, really. Let's start from when the weekend
What's
begins.
your typical week
the
like?
The weekend starts on Friday.
Yeah, what's a typical weekend
So
like?
how is Friday for you?
Friday is, I don't like sharing personal, certain things on air, if you know, you know. But Friday is when
It's a tough one.
It's not tough. It's like I'm thinking of how much to share. So Friday for me is it's a typical day. It's like a Sunday for you. Does that make any sense? If your week starts on Monday, Sunday, that's Sunday for me.
Yeah.
Does that I think that makes sense. So you're running last minute errands, you're trying to grab things, you're making sure that everything that is supposed to be for Monday is ready, whether it's breakfast, like your coffee is out, and whether meetings are supposed to have, hey, what's up? Are we having meetings 8 o'clock on Monday? Okay,
right.
All my guests are arranged, I'm getting the scripts, getting the materials, I'm jacking and getting ready for the show. So I think so what Sunday should look like for a regular person who works Monday to Friday is what my Friday looks like for me.
Okay, so that means your Saturday is a Monday for someone else.
Absolutely.
So
a Saturday
based
is a
on
Monday
what you just said, let's assume that we're talking Friday being Sunday, right? Work life and all that. You could say that comes with a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension.
Anxiety and tension. Yes, anxiety, no.
Not really.
Yeah, because if I'm anxious, I would have called sick, but again, I can't call in sick. So I don't know what's going on. Even when I'm sick, I'm like antsy to get back to work. So I don't have anxiety over work. I just have tensions, and what I do is I just, and that's it. I'm locked in.
And then you're good.
That's it.
How about you?
There are a couple of anxieties that come with entering into a Monday, which for me is a Friday.
Right.
Yeah, and a Friday would be a Sunday night, I think. But I get where you're going though. But where are we landing this now?
Does that affect how the workplace treats you or how you treat the workplace?
I think it affects how I treat the workplace.
How you treat the workplace.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, where we're
going. Because I have
going.
to come in with a certain mindset.
Right.
It's either guns blazing or one of the two.
Okay, the reason I'm asking this is because we had to go on the streets, right? So we did this Vox Pop. So we hear from the people, the regular people, how Friday is for them.
Yeah.
We can play that now.
Well, let's take a look at that little package then.
Well, Friday is my favorite day of the week, and I sleep in on Fridays, basically. Once I don't have work today, I sleep in. I'm excited it's Friday. 3 days to rest before Monday. Yeah, basically. That's how I feel on Fridays.
Well, usually I just go home and rest from the stress of the week. As a student, we go to classes from Mondays to Fridays. So usually I just anticipate my rest. That's all.
Friday is always giving this kind of new vibes, to refresh about the whole week, to just calm down. And, everybody, the whole family will be around. My brother will get back from work and, we'll just have that time to reconnect again.
Regardless of what you've been through during the week or how even your day has been going on Friday, you just know that, okay, it's end of the week, you are going home to your family, to wherever you want to go meet at home. Now, the vibe that comes with Friday. As an adult, we've planned out hangouts that would not work. So on Friday, we get to meet, maybe you go to your family house, Netflix and choose, I don't know, maybe party, it's Lagos.
I'm usually excited for Fridays and the weekend, especially because like there are a lot of events that happen and you just get to rest from the stress of the week. So yeah, Fridays are cool, Fridays are chill, and I'm always looking forward to the weekend once it's Friday.
That's interesting. So you played that video for us, and you went out on the streets for those Vogue Pops. So tell us, everyone's excited about Friday. They're all excited for taking a break from work. To me, it just sounded a bunch of, let me not say the word, but let me leave it to you. What do you think?
You know, Friday traditionally marks the end of the working week, and we all know that work comes with its own kind of stress. So that's why, you know, the terminology, thank God it's Friday, became so popular, because everybody saw it as, this is the time for me to let down my hair, this is the time for me to get rid of all the backlog of work and face the weekend. Which is why it was important for us to actually come in so that we can get to understand the dichotomy and the discrimination between Friday and Sunday. Why are people so excited to get into the weekend, leave work on Friday, and have this sense of doom when Sunday comes? For you, as you said, you know, just before we went on break, you kind of like hinted that your Friday is like everybody else's Sunday. So you can imagine how it is that the workplace now is become so untraditional. There's now hybrid workplaces, and you know, where everybody is working online. So not everybody goes to a traditional workplace. Some people get to work from home. So just as you emphasized, not everybody has Friday as Friday. Some people work Friday to Friday, back to back, you know. But then right now, it's important that we also look at Monday. We look at the switch from Sunday to Monday. Are you ready for that?
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So we went on the streets again, and this is what people have to say.
All right.
Sunday is my favorite day of the week, I beg your pardon. It's a day that I get to be around community, around church. Community is very important to me. I go to church on Sundays. I experience community, the bond. I get to see people I've not seen over the entire week. And in as much as Monday is the next day, it's really heartwarming that, oh, I get to spend time in the presence of the Lord, and I get to see people I really love, and that we share the same faith. And I'm encouraged in Christ, and I'm encouraged, like, for the next week to get it through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like that. So yeah, I really like Sundays. I like it a lot.
Sunday is a happy day for me. I mean, it's my favorite day of the week, actually, because, yeah, to some persons, they feel, oh, it's the beginning of the new week. But for me, I mean, when you go to church, you come back, you're thinking about the next rice and stew you are eating on Sunday. I mean, it's a time for relaxation for me. I really like Sunday. The people, you get to go out. Fridays, even though they say some persons might prefer Friday, you still think about Saturday, having to have some things you have to do. But Sunday, for me, you have to relax. It's more like a relaxation day for me.
Sundays are usually chill as well, you know. You still get to like recharge for the week ahead. It's just that I'm sad that the weekend has already come to an end and then the new week is already starting. So Sundays are full of mixed feelings.
Sunday for me is just like a day of me resetting myself and my energy, you know. After a long week, I just use Sunday to reset, think about my weekly goals and what I want to achieve for the week. And yeah.
Well, I'm always happy for Sundays. Why? Because at least I will have a chance to leave my workspace. You know, I work as a freelancer, so the energy there is, it's always giving. Sundays are always giving, you know. I have that time to myself and to share my time with people that matters to me in the church.
I'm a church girly. So I like church because, you know, I'll get to meet my friends and we'll get to talk about the new week that we're heading into. You know, we'll declare ahead that this week, God has gone ahead of us and everything. And reality will not dawn on me again on Sunday night that, tomorrow is Monday, we go again. So that's it.
See, we've got an interesting set of respondents. As you can tell, a lot of them really had this feel-good feeling about Sunday, and that was because of what it was that they were holding on to. They held on to their faith. They held on to the fact that they went to church, and that was what gave them the hope, you know, that Monday is going to be a good one. But statistics have shown that that is not entirely the case. 81% of people worldwide actually claim that they suffer from Sunday night to Monday morning anxiety. And out of that same 81%, we've got 83% who attribute this to workplace toxicity and workplace stress. What does that tell you? That this is something that we really, really need to talk about, especially if you do understand the challenges that come with workplace stress and workplace toxicity and the impact not just on the workplace, but also on the individuals themselves who go to work. Now, what are the reasons for this, you might ask? I mean, we talked about workplace anxiety shortly before, you know, I came to stand here. But then there are so many reasons. I'm going to list about 5. Number 1, we've got poor work-life balance, where weekends are spent recovering rather than recharging. In other words, people do not. Remember I said I was going to talk about the work-life balance thing?
Right.
In this instance, we don't necessarily push for work-life balance. We push for work-life integration because we've realized that it's totally impractical for you to want to have a balance, a 50-50 balance between work and your life. So it's about understanding that life is fluid, and then whatever it is that happens, you take it in your stride. So we encourage work-life integration, right? And then number 2, you anticipate this heavy workload, unrealistic expectations, so much that is demanded of you at a time that you know you really cannot deliver. Number 3, you have a toxic workplace dynamics, as we hinted at earlier. Number 4, we've got the lack of meaning and growth. A lot of people are at work, they don't know the reason that they are at work. And they also find that some organizations really do not involve their team, so there's no sense of growth, there's no sense of impact, and you do not feel that much excited about going to work. And then one of the last reason that I'm going to talk about here is sleep disruptions. You know, we have this idea, especially when it's Sunday or weekend, this is the time for us to rest and relax. So we spend time either going clubbing, we spend time hanging out with friends, we spend time, you know, just doom scrolling, or, you know, streaming all the movies, K-dramas, for instance, you know, all the series. And we keep ourselves up at night. And you find that at the end of the day, instead of having your regular, you know, quality sleep, you end up with like maybe 1 hour or 2 hours of sleep. And that's going to mess up your mindset, right? So you find that you're not really that excited because you're groggy, you didn't sleep well, it affects you in general. Right?
Look, you have done fantastically well just listing out all of this, and it was very appreciated. My favorite thing, I wouldn't say I have a favorite day. My favorite thing is Friday night into Saturday morning, or Saturday night into Sunday morning. Chef's kiss, sublime. A slow Sunday morning,
right?
Nothing like it. Nothing beats a slow Sunday morning. Wake up late at 11, go grab brunch, stop by, pick up a nice
You're here
gift.
on Sunday mornings.
No,
I'm
trying to get. Anyway,
you're here every Sunday and Saturday morning.
I miss this. What I'm saying.
You miss
oh my
it.
God.
You know what some of them said, some of the respondents said when they were talking about Sunday, they were saying that this was their time for them to recharge.
Yeah.
Right? It was time for them to recharge, the time for them to connect with their community. And, you know, one of the reasons we always say that isolation doesn't really work well when you're dealing with people, because we are social beings, right? In as much as you've been at work for so long, but then when you get home, find out time to, you know, just recharge and then connect with people. Yeah, connect with people that kind of hype you up and, you know, help you.
They're your chargers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Look, we're pretty much out of time.
Sleep is very important.
Sleep is good.
Sleep is very important. And your mindset about stress and about life and about work is something that we need to talk about. People assume that stress is the problem, but when you understand that stress is actually a tool for you and it's an expected part of life, you don't run away from it, but you come up with ideas, you come up with tools and techniques that would help you.
All right.
Such as breathing exercises. Very important that you do that, because one of the ways is to pause. You have to learn how to pause and calm yourself down.